Hello everybody, it's Allison Henderson with Moving Image Consulting. Who out there has found themselves in the situation of sexual harassment? Now this may be something that has happened with you, it may be you're a manager and the first thing that the CEO is going to do is come to you and say, how could you not have known? Why didn't you see this? Why was a complaint made? We should have seen this, we should have stopped it. You as managers are first line of defense for many of these companies, and they're expecting you to see things. Now, if the only thing the company is providing is some sexual harassment video training with actors who are providing scenarios that are super obvious, like of course that's sexual harassment. Yes, you shouldn't stand right on top of somebody and look down their blouse, or you shouldn't grope someone, or obviously you have to watch the things that come out of your mouth as well. But what about things that are more subtle? This is really where the training that Moving Image Consulting provides supplements those online training programs. All it takes is a couple of hours to train your eyes on how to see the more subtle things. One misconception that people seem to have about body language and subconscious behavior is that since it is subconscious, the behavior is somehow invisible and you can't see it. Well, that's absolutely not true. The behavior is right there in front of your eyes, you just don't know what you're looking for. So I am in this little video going to give you the 3 top things to look for. They are some of the first signs that somebody in your office may be feeling like they are being sexually harassed. And also other types of harassment, not only sexual, but that seems to be the thing that most people are concerned about these days. So the first thing that you want to look for is the cringe. If anyone in your office gives a little smoosh of their chest, so their sternum's going to go back, their shoulders might lift up a little bit. It could just be more in the face, where their face kind of squints up a little bit, kind of like they're in pain. That cringe of ow, I just stubbed my toe, is also the facial expression of, oh, here comes Bob or Sue or whoever it is that is the offender, and their body instinctively reacts. They may be trying to control everything else that's going on, but it's going to leak out somewhere. And these are the little tiny signals that show you that leak. So the cringe is one. It may, if they come and they sit down next to the person, it's going to be a little side thing. They're going to lean over. They're going to put more space between them and the offender. So it could be really subtle because this person may not feel like they want to say anything yet. They may also be confused about, well, is what he or she doing really sexual harassment or not? Will anybody believe me? Will I lose my job if I say something? All of these are real concerns and objections that somebody experiencing harassment may feel. And it's up to you as the manager to notice these things and be proactive. And you can say, is anything bothering you? Is there something going on? I notice your behavior has changed. One of the best things you can do as a manager is take a baseline behavior of the people that report to you in your office. Those folks all have a way that they normally act, and you need to be aware of what those things are. Again, you need to turn your eyeballs on. What I call it Moving Image Consulting, listening with your eyes. So that was 1, the cringe. 2, eye contact. If in your baseline of behavior on the individual, they normally keep pretty good eye contact, and suddenly they stop doing that, and this may be that they stop keeping eye contact sort of with everybody as they start to withdraw in the workplace, or it could be the individual that they are uncomfortable around, that they stop making eye contact with them. So that may be fleeting, they're looking down and then they kind of fleetingly look up every so often, like, is he still there? Is she still hovering? Or it could be even with you that they're uncomfortable because they don't want to say anything, they don't want anything to leak out, and so they become kind of withdrawn and their eyes come down and they stop making really good eye contact. That is another one. The third thing is an overall shrinkage. This goes along with the first two, right? If somebody's shrinking away from somebody else, they could also be shrinking up and down. But if somebody's general body shape changes to a shrinking, they're kind of covering themselves up, they're making themselves smaller, they're taking up less space. This is a reactive measure. It is protective, and so it's a way for them to take up less space, so hopefully they're not noticed and the harassment will discontinue because they are less in the perpetrator's face, and so they will become they'll become smaller. If they're female, they will probably do things that lessen their womanly curves, if that seems to be the problem. And so as a manager, look for these things. If you are in charge of these trainings that are now required, you should be looking at the nonverbal piece as well. You should be looking at the behavioral piece. It's not always going to be something that is overt, and often it's little things that get someone in trouble. And I have other videos that are on sexual harassment, things that you are doing that you don't realize that you are. And I have a whole training, obviously, on signs of someone being uncomfortable, on things that your managers and your employees may be doing that will become sexual harassment. Did you know that just sitting like this could be perceived as sexual harassment? It's true. You need to call me to find out why. Allison Henderson with Moving Image Consulting. We are here to help you with your compliance in 2020.